Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Monday, August 17th. Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic start to your week. We've got a brand new trading week here. We're going to go over some of our Sunday weekly levels that were provided to you guys here yesterday. Actually, on Saturday, posted that on YouTube. And we'll take a look here at the Sunday gap that formed. Nice little gap to the upside. If you guys watched that video that I gave you guys, made a prediction on that video and our Sunday gap that believed that we would gap into the weekly band that I gave you guys above price action before the open, and pretty much happened exactly how I thought it was going to happen. So let's get here on the charts here in 1 second. Give me 1 sec here. All right, we're ready to boogie here. All right, so here's our gap from Sunday's open. Small gap, nothing huge, nothing crazy, but still a gap to the upside for sure. So bulls currently are definitely in control of this market, at least short term. We visited the 30,340s was, I think, our 42 is our kind of our daily high right now, our current daily high. Currently sitting at the prior day high at the 30,283. So this is Friday's high here, and as you guys can see, we've pretty much been gravitating around this prior day high most of the overnight session. Some other levels to look out for here this morning. We've got our prior day open down here at the 212. We've got the pre-session or the overnight session here, value area low sitting right above it around the 220s right here. So you do have a nice little pocket right here of some liquidity that the market might want to come down and balance out. You got the current open at the 30,171. That should be also a number here that gets respected well on the NQ. As far as Friday's price action, what it kind of left us with, a weekly developing, we've got a daily band down here at the 30.79 to the 30.046. As you can see, I don't have any kind of smaller area here to scalp from. So even though I can see the market rejecting, as this is all buyer supply down here, I could see the market rejecting in this area. I just don't have a really concise, detailed area for us to take a scalping opportunity here this morning off of it. So this is going to be a band that I'm going to avoid, but at the same time, I'm going to be looking for definitely some support down here if the bears can get us down into this area here this morning. Now, a level that we definitely want to have on our charts here today, we've got the prior day low at the 30.028. It's a nice virgin level down here, and I could definitely see us either tapping and going, or what also could be very likely is for us to either come down, sweep this level, use it then as resistance, and move back to the downside. So out of all of my current levels, besides the previous weekly high that we'll talk about here in a little bit, I'm sorry, not the prior weekly high, the weekly low. This prior day low, again at the 30.028, is the level that you really, really want to have mapped out on your chart, and you definitely want to have this on your radar for this morning. Same setup here that I gave you guys from Friday. Was really hoping that we would tap into this level here. 29,903 to the 29,890.75. This trade's going to look very, very simple. And we'll kind of walk through what this trade would, again, look like. You would have a limit order set here at the 29,903.75. You'd have your stop sitting just a few points below the bottom of this band. And then again, we're going to be going for a 1 to 2 risk to reward on this trade. So that would be sitting just like that. And if we map this one out, let's see if I can move this guy over a little bit there. There we go. This trade would look something like this. Again, limit order at the 29,903.50. Your TP would be sitting at the 29,934.50, and your stop loss would be sitting at the 29,888. So that's definitely a setup that I will be looking at here this morning, if we can get price action to come back down here. Again, another band down here at the 29,715 to the 29,668. This is all buyer controlled volume sitting down here. Same situation as the previous, prior previous band that we were talking about. Don't have any detailed scalping area here, so we're just looking for support in this area, but not necessarily a trading opportunity, a scalping opportunity for me as of right now. And then we've got our prior weekly low sitting down here at the 29,533.50. Again, this is going to be definitely an area you want to put on your map. Not necessarily, I don't think that we'll get down here today, as we really don't have any high impact scheduled news here this morning. We've got just pretty much some yellow folder events here during the pre-market and New York Open. But this weekly high, a lot of volume sitting down here. And again, this is going to be a scenario where what we're looking for, our bias would be for a flip right here. Have those buyers come back in and step in on this weekly low, which was obviously the pivot from last week. And if the bears are in control, then same situation, we'll be looking for this line to act as resistance and fade it back to the downside if we see that bears really come in here strongly. And nothing above us on the NQ, so that's the NQ there. Now let's kind of switch over here to the ES. Let's close this gap here a little bit. First off, good morning, Paul. Trader 007. Miss K 911. Good morning. Bala, good morning. Poor guy, good morning. Joe, Clement, good morning to all. All right, now the ES. Gave you guys, let's pop over our weekly bands here. This is our bands from Sunday's video. So, as I stated in my weekend report, which we've got a whole new format coming up for the weekend's report. I think you guys, it's going to be really interactive. It's going to be super fun. So I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully I get all the logistics and technical bugs worked out by Sunday. But I think you guys are going to be excited about that. As far as this weekly bands that I gave you guys here at the 30,272 to the 30,204, if you go and watch that video, I said that my prediction would be is that we gap right into this weekly band, as this was all seller controlled volume right here, and I knew that for liquidity sakes this would be the easiest place for the Sunday gap to occur. Gave you guys a tradable level at the 30,196. Again, I gave you guys the disclosure at the video. Don't just trade this blindly short. Wait for the gap for the Sunday open to occur and see what price action happens. Obviously, we would not be shorting this, as we pretty much gapped right into this level right from the get-go. But you can see here, based on price action, how strong that level really was as a magnet for the first almost hour and a half of that Sunday open. We were able to finally chew through this volume, and a reason why we have an easier time going through this volume on a Sunday gap is you typically have a pretty wild ride right on the Sunday gap. Your first hour to hour and a half on your Sunday open is going to be definitely a lot more volatility in that market. So we finally did break through. As you guys can see now, we've kind of just been dipping back into this band, So this is going to be, even though this weekly band for me is not as relevant currently for this coming week, I'm more interested in some of the things that have been untapped that we just discussed here on the NQ. But what you want to do is you want to have this band on your charts. If you're on TradingView or Tradeovate, whatever platform you're using, just pop this band on your chart. And we can use this as our bias here for today, because if we continue to get support, okay, so if this continues to act here as support like it's been early this morning, this could be kind of your daily bias here this morning, where if we can maybe get another leg back to the upside, maybe we stay in this band for good portion of the open, even though I have a hard time thinking that the New York Open can be contained to just this band. But if last Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday was any indication, it is quite possible that this range right here could be something that the New York Open wants to kind of gravitate towards. But if buyers start to step in, okay, and we start to see resistance here by sellers, then we can start to kind of maybe change our bias here this morning, looking back for things to the downside. And the other weekly band that I gave you guys down here, which we talked about already on the stream, is at the 29,890 to the 29,820. This is the weekly band. This is all buyers sitting down here. I do have this level here at the 29,903 that should give us a scalping opportunity here as well this morning. Now we'll kind of go into the ES here. So I had a very strong band here at the 78.25 to the 78.29. Now, if you take a look, our weekly band was much bigger than this, was kind of sitting right here. We ended up almost tapping into this band. We still have not tapped into this band. So this one's a really, really important one. It's only about it's about 4 points wide, so not a huge stop here. My only concern was this run up right here. Okay, those that are in my Signal member group, those that have been trading with me for quite some time, especially on the morning live sessions, you guys already know that if I've got an area with a setup here, so obviously entry, TPs, stop loss sitting up here, if I get a price action that gets pretty close to my entry, even though this one's got maybe about, I don't know, 3 ticks, this came about a point. So this is about a point difference right here, okay? Most of the people that have been trading with me for quite some time already know 2 things. One, this band already, I was off. I was off by a point, okay? This is where the pivot, this is where the reaction is. This was where the volume was sitting at for sellers. Now, when we get price action that comes right back up here, okay, am I really looking to trade this band again? No, because what I consider happening here in the marketplace is, let's just say we had an entire like piggy bank here of volume, and we had very strong price action to create this move to the upside that hit a brick wall, right? Obviously we hit a pivot there. Well, What I consider happening here is it sucked some of the volume, the unbalanced volume that I was going to be using to trade this band back to the downside. It's already kind of like as a vacuum just kind of sucked some of that volume from that piggy bank that we were describing earlier. And what occurs is that typically then when you get a strong move to the downside, you start giving bears some confidence, and you start getting some sellers entering into the market, looking to see if they can take this market back down to the downside, right? Pretty clear. Well, what occurs is that the natural place to put your stop is going to be sitting right at the top of this pivot. And if the bears do another rally, once we tap into this to these stops, we typically will get a spike to the upside. Now, can this band contain that spike? Possibly. But as our stop is sitting right here, the edge has been diminished slightly, not slightly, significantly, where I don't believe that there's enough of an edge here for me to still be able to trade this band successfully. So this is a band, as unfortunate as as I wanted to trade this band here this morning, it's not an area that I am currently interested in. Now we do have a level up here on the ES at the 78.31, which is our prior day high. So this is Friday's high sitting right here. Again, a good amount of volume sitting here. We had the prior day open that we almost tapped into. We missed this one by a tick. So again, built-in liquidity right here, built-in liquidity right here, and built-in liquidity right here. Good areas for another pivot to the downside on the ES. We got the current day's open here at the 78.08. Not as strong of a level for me personally today. Prior day low. Now, is this a level that I will be looking for? Absolutely. A plus level here for you guys. 77.96.50. A lot of volume sitting right here. Again, we want to test out to see if the buyers will still be in control here, as this was the pivot from Friday to back to the upside. And you can use this as your bias here again, because if the buyers fail and the sellers take control, then you can look to change your bias here for the prior day low to flip this into resistance for another move to the downside. Similar situation that we have on the NQ. We've got a huge weekly band here on the ES, okay? Huge weekly band, all buyers. 77.81 to the 77.64. Definitely, again, a band that you want to have on your chart. You don't want to be taking shorts in this, anywhere in this area right here. You don't want to be taking any shorts going into this area right in here. In fact, if you guys are, whatever strategy you guys might have, if any of your signals, give you a signal to go long, okay? So if your strategy, for one reason or the other, gives you a reason to go long in this area, I would listen to that signal if I was you. That's for sure. So again, 77.81 to the 77.64 will be a nice little strong pivotable spot for the market here. And then lastly on the ES, prior weekly low from last week, 77.38. As kind of crappy as price action was last week, we definitely got an improvement in price action on Thursday and Friday. Was able to get decently green in the trading sessions on Thursday. Had a really nice trade, posted that on X. And on Friday we had Cash Profit Friday. Started off the morning really hot. Didn't take any trades after that, as the market really just didn't give me any other clear setup for Friday, but was still in the green very nicely. One of our viewers on the YouTube stream was able to get 25% of my session's profit, which was roughly $105. That was sent to her through PayPal. Nice cash giveaway there for you guys on Friday. We'll be doing an Apex eval giveaway this coming Wednesday. Again, I do not believe, I'm about 95% sure there will be no stream tomorrow. I am moving my son into his college dorm in tomorrow morning, and even though we're still kind of waiting for our move-in, our scheduled move-in period, I do not believe that there will be a live stream here coming up for tomorrow. But Wednesday we'll have a stream, and then Thursday I'll be back in the studio, and we'll be definitely getting at it. So I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes here. If you guys have any questions on any of the bands, any of the setups, anything to look out for today here, pop it into, or if you have any general questions on my strategy, put your question here into the chat. I'll give you guys a minute or two, and then I'll come back and give you guys my final thoughts for the market here today. One thing I definitely wanted to ask you guys is if you guys could give me some comments in the chat. What do you guys think about this current layout that I have for the morning stream? Kind of did a few design changes. Instead of the scrolling ticker at the bottom, it's now stationary. I personally love it. This is how I trade in my live trading room that I continue on till about 11 a.m. this morning. And you can see that you've got, you know, all of the major markets. Even though I don't really trade Euro USD, but I think one currency pair is a good one to have. But you got Bitcoin there, you've got the Dow, you've got Nasdaq, the S&P, and then gold. So that's a nice little live ticker that's giving you in real time the price action. And then I kind of consolidated the scrolling alerts to just the major alerts for the morning. Some things to focus in on, obviously the Fed watch, what's important from the Fed as far as the interest rates. We obviously have FOMC minutes, meeting minutes on Wednesday, so that'll be something that obviously we'll look for. And then high impact events, even though the first one there is a yellow folder event, it's not really a red folder event, but that's just the way that it gets updated. It gets updated in real time. So just trying to make it as clean and maybe not as busy as possible, but at least providing me with the most relevant, and you guys with the most relevant information for today's market. I have finally successfully installed the gamma levels from Deep Chart. So I've been experimenting over the weekend, but I wanted to let price action here develop for Monday, so I could kind of take a look and see exactly how I can incorporate those gamma levels and regime status for the day into my live stream early in the morning. I'll be covering those again on the weekend report here, my futures report that I'm going to do here every single weekend going forward. It's similar to as what I've been doing, but it's going to be a lot more interactive. I think it'll be hopefully something that people get some value from, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Paul says he really likes it. J Love, thought I'd let you know, sir, that Take Profit Trader is 50% off, and it's 3 days to pass now. Okay, cool. So again, so far we got one comment that they really like the layout. If anybody else has any type of input on things that you guys might want to see, I would love to see it. Be great. I'm intrigued by gamma, but don't know much about how to use it. Okay, well, we're gonna kind of be, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not an expert in gamma levels. This is something fairly new to me. I have obviously been looking at regime, conditions for the market. So if we're in a positive or negative gamma environment, I obviously know the basics behind that. And I know, obviously, you know, what to kind of look for in your major put and call walls in the gamma levels in the options world. It seems to be obviously an extremely hot topic in the markets, you know, and it just kind of seems like we're going through these phases where things become super hot, and then, you know, you get a whole shit ton of traders, a whole shit ton of people, you know, starting to kind of think that it's the next maybe holy grail in trading, and it's not. I mean, these are all reference points. Even my daily levels, my bands, nothing is going to be a holy grail type of strategy. But ultimately, what's the most important, nice little spike there, sellers starting to really pop in right here. So they really busted in that volume right there. 426, definitely aggressive on the ask side there. You had almost 700 contracts, about 650 contracts being dealt right there from sellers. So could be a little precursor here to the morning. Again, we already know some of the areas that we want to use as kind of our bias. I think the big one, the major one, is going to be on the NQ, which is going to be this guy right here. This guy right here is going to be, I think, extremely important for us here this morning to kind of see where if the sellers can break down from this band and then possibly use this band as resistance for another leg to the downside. But yeah, getting back to like the gamma levels here, it's a pretty hot topic. It's a pretty topic that you're starting to see a lot more videos on, a lot more traders starting to use it and incorporate it. And again, I think they're really good reference points, and more importantly, it's how the major, you know, like the Citadels of the world that are the biggest market makers in the industry, it's the way that they hedge all of their options positions. And they usually are hedging their options positions with the ES and the NQ futures. So they use futures contracts to hedge their options contracts. And based on the hedge, you know, they want to pretty much stay at a very net neutral position. So if they have overexposure on one side, they want to take a hedge on the other side, again, to stay very neutral. And pretty much what they're doing is like what market makers do, is that they're making their money off of the slight spreads and slight margins that they can create within the market. They have very smart algorithms, very smart people behind them that their only job and only position is to properly hedge all of their options contracts. And again, they do that with futures contracts. So that's why it is extremely, you know, it's important to know where those kind of levels are sitting at. And if price action, let's just say, you know, if price action here, let's say we had a pretty strong put wall here or call wall at the 7808, and we start to see a shit ton of volume coming in, so big institutional players stepping into the market, and we break through this level, that's an area now where the market makers that have these options positions will then start needing to hedge their bets because of a major wall now kind of being broken, which consider a wall as their overall, where their biggest positions lie, where their biggest risk lies in the market. And if they can break through one of those walls, then they start to hedge, which in a situation that they might start being very aggressive sellers into the marketplace. And if you know where that wall is at and you see price action break through a wall, then you can kind of create a trading opportunity behind that and kind of follow that institutional money down to the downside or the upside, depending on which way the market is going. So again, I'll be kind of going into that, into at least the major walls on the weekend report. So I think it's going to be an interesting time. I think it's just always adding a few things into your toolbox, not overwhelming yourself, not necessarily having to change your entire strategy, but you know, anytime that we can learn and figure something out, obviously so much the better. Again, just an absolute boatload of volume stepping in here from sellers. Even though I can tell you right now that the buyers have done a really good job of buying up this volume right here. Looks like almost 900 contracts being sold right there on the ES. So, even though I said that the current open today for me wasn't going to be super special, sure as shit turned out to be an area of definite interest here in the marketplace. Yeah, layout is nice, awesome. J-Lo says, I've been thinking of getting deep charts because of you. Hopefully it's a good thing, but yeah, I'm super happy with the platform. I mean, there's, you know, I know some people might disagree with me. I know that there's some very strong supporters of different platforms, but from everything that I have seen, and I have traded the majority of the platforms that are out there, it is by far the I think the strongest platform to be given to a futures trader. That's for sure. I mean, just has everything built in. Your heat map, your book map is kind of built in. Your obviously now we've got the gamma options levels, trade copiers built in, trade management, order entry management, risk management. The charting platform is great. You can't deny that the volume tools on deep charts is not the absolute best. So there's just there's a lot of really good things in here that I really like. So all right, guys, so that's what I got for you guys here today. Obviously, if any setups come in or if any trade idea here pans out, I'll update you guys here on Discord. My link to the Discord is below. It's free. Give you guys really good resources on there as well. Otherwise, again, most likely will not have a stream tomorrow, but I'll be streaming here for sure on Wednesday, and we'll be doing an Apex giveaway as well. Take care, guys. Stay patient in the market, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.